Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and this is my performance review of the Puma All Pro Nitro. So this shoe is going for $130, which is a pretty good price, and also there's a new Volt colorway. It's like a white Volt colorway, which looks freaking amazing. So if you guys do want to cop it, try to leave in the affiliate link in the description box, but let's get it started right off with the Tracciones. And in this colorway we have a fully translucent outsole, which I usually don't like because translucent outsoles usually pick up a little bit more dust than the solid rubber counterpart, so it doesn't perform as well usually as a solid rubber, right? And also I don't like yellowing. Just in my personal opinion, I don't think it looks good, you know, it makes the shoe look a little bit like old and not as good in my personal opinion. But how is the traction performance on the All Pro Nitro? It's freaking top tier, guys. One of the best outsoles and also one of the best traction performances that I've tried in the past couple of months, you know what I mean? So we have this kind of like checkered, it's like lines, but it's like going perpendicular to each other. We have a plastic midfoot shank plate. It says Nitro, and then here in the heel kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Harden Volume 1 traction pattern, a little bit, right? And we have two slits, which is weird. I don't know why that's there. But the traction performance, especially if you're playing on a clean court, oh my goodness, guys, freaking amazing stops. You're stopping on a dime, all the good stuff, you know what I mean? It feels like you're playing on glue, I don't know, it feels like you're playing with a magnet, I don't know, but amazing, amazing stops, right? If you're playing on a dusty court, also freaking amazing, guys. So I was playing in some shoes like the Jordan 38 and the KD16, which have good traction on a clean court, right? And now I'm playing these, I was like freaking amazing, right? But then the next day, you know, I bring those shoes and I'm playing on like a dusty setting, right? On like a 24-hour fitness court. And this shoe would be biting like freaking amazingly well, like on a dusty setting, but then the Jordan 38 and like the KD16 not as good, you know what I mean? So it bites through dust really, really well, and it doesn't pick up dust that quickly. But if it does pick up dust, it's also a super duper easy wipe and you're good to go. So dust performance is also really, really nice, and also durability, I feel like it'll be pretty good, you know what I mean? I mean, we do have just lines, but the rubber seems kind of hard, and I guess the grooves are pretty deep. So I feel like on an outdoor court you should be okay. Probably not the best option, but also doesn't feel terrible, right? So yeah, I had an amazing time playing in the shoe because of the amazing traction performance. Now moving on to the heel to toe transition, overall it does feel pretty damn smooth. Here in the heel we have a nice kind of like rounded shape. It is pretty caged right here in the back of the heel, but here on the lateral and the medial side it is pretty soft in the heel, right? And then transferring all that energy into the forefoot, we have a nice crazy curve shape, which I also really like. And then we have a good amount of forefoot flex as well. But like I mentioned before, because of this plastic midfoot shank plate, we have good torsional support. It doesn't really like bend in the midfoot, right? So overall heel to toe transition when you're doing heel dominant strides down the court is very, very smooth. And now moving on to the cushioning setup, of course we have nitro foam or nitro infused foam, or whatever you want to call it. But it says nitro here, and it's super duper nice, you know what I mean? So here in the heel we have nice compression, you know, it's soft, and also the step-in comfort is very nice, right? We have this super plush insole. I love what Puma does with their insoles. They give it to us thick, you know what I mean? One thing that sucks though, which I think they should change up, is the strobe board. The strobe board is actually pretty damn stiff. So if they would soften it up and give us like a mesh strobe board, or give us even like a little cutout in the heel, that would be nice, so we can feel the nitro foam underneath our foot, you know what I mean, for underfoot cushion. But it's still pretty nice. I mean, the insole did bottom out, like all insoles do. But yeah, we have nice compression here in the heel. Overall impact protection is also pretty damn nice, especially on heel strikes. Court feel I would say is average, pretty good court feel. And then in the forefoot it does get pretty dead, right? So I would say it's like a pretty responsive cushioning setup, but also kind of comfortable and kind of soft, just like here in the heel. So overall cushioning setup, I did enjoy playing in this shoe. However, if you're looking for something crazy, you know, something crazy comfortable with a lot of compression or a lot of bounce or something like that, then this definitely is not the setup for you. But if you're looking for a pretty responsive setup, you know, with a little bit of compression, you know, and also good impact protection, stuff like that, then this is a really nice setup, right? And I enjoyed playing in the shoe because of the more responsive cushioning setup, because I am a guard, right? And then moving on to the material. So the material is like, it feels kind of cheap. You know what I mean? It feels kind of flimsy as well. It is broken in, so it does feel a little bit softer than when I first got it. It's like this screen mesh material. You know, like in this part, it's kind of like a screen mesh, but around that we have more of like, it's kind of like they embroider the material a little bit. You know what I mean? Kind of reminds me of like a textile, but it's extremely thin. Right, you're super duper thin and minimal material, but also very supportive because it doesn't stretch really all too much. So I do like that, and also conforms to my foot very well. And we have this like, kind of like, what, synthetic like patent leather material. This is super cheap. I hate it. It's a very, very crappy feeling material. And then here in the midfoot, stays extremely thin. And then for the tongue, we have a nice bit of padding, which I do like as well. Puma gives us very nice padding for the tongue as well, you know? It's also a half booty construction tongue, giving you a better overall one-to-one fit. And then here in the ankle area, I would say there's pretty minimal padding, you know? Like a little bit less than average. There's just padding here in the back of the heel, like where your Achilles is. So that feels kind of nice, but overall this material is super duper minimal, I guess, besides the tongue. The tongue padding does feel nice and cozy on top of your foot, but the overall upper does feel super minimal. For 130 bucks, the quality definitely kind of sucks, but it feels nice on foot, which is the main thing for me. You know what I mean? Like, especially for a performance basketball shoe. Like, I don't really care all too much about the material quality. I care more about like how it feels on foot, and it feels really nice. It's thin, conforms to my foot, it's supportive and all that. And now moving on to the fit, I went up half a size for this shoe and actually fits me very, very well, right? I would say there's a little bit of length, just a tiny bit, but I feel like if I went true to size, it would have been a little too short, right? So for most people, I would suggest going up half a size for the length. I guess if you want it to be super snug, however, maybe go true to size, but be careful on that. Like I said, I would recommend going up half a size for most people. Also here in the toe box, it is quite snug, and then here for the width, it is slightly narrow as well. And then here in the midfoot, it does stay a little narrow too. So the fit for me was very, very nice. I like to have a snug fit for my hoop shoes, so going up half a size, it was very, very good for me. And as far as the support and lockdown goes, so for lateral containment, I was actually good to go. You know, here in the forefoot, doesn't really look like there's any type of lateral counters, right? But for some reason, my foot felt pretty locked in. You know, it kind of rolls over on itself a little bit, but I didn't really notice anything like my foot coming out of the footbed, especially here in the forefoot. And also here in the heel, the foam comes up acting as a sidewall like crazy. Look at how thick it is. And then also there's a crazy hard and stiff internal TPU heel counter. So lateral containment, I was good to go. Maybe you might feel a little bit of something here in the forefoot if you're heavier, but for most people, I feel like you're gonna be good to go, right? And also lateral stability, I was good. You know, look, there's not an outrigger, but you can see how much the foam and also protrude out here on the lateral side in the forefoot. So lateral stability was very good for me as well. I didn't have any heel slippage or anything like that. So overall support and lockdown was very good for me personally. And now moving on to the weight of the shoe, 12.55 ounces. Let's check the other shoe. 12.3 ounces, right? So it's a little bit lighter than average. The average weight of my shoes is around 12.5 ounces, but this shoe is super freaking responsive. I love playing in the shoe because of how fast I felt, right? So first of all, it just feels super smooth, right? The heel to toe transition feels very, very nice, especially with this curved shape in the forefoot. Super flexible sole, right? Especially here in the forefoot. Amazing top tier traction. Cushion also is overall responsive. The shoe fit me well. Overall upper super minimal, supportive shoe too. My foot felt locked into the shoe. So when I was playing in it, I felt really, really quick, and I never really had to worry about the shoe at all. So that's why I absolutely love playing in the shoe, because of those reasons, right? And I guess it does feel a little bulky, just a tiny bit, because of all this foam here in the heel. But other than that, not a huge deal. It felt very responsive for me. And ventilation also is pretty damn good. You have pretty good airflow through this like super thin screen mesh material, and it doesn't really retain heat either because it's a thin material. So overall ventilation was pretty good here in the All Pro Nitro. And aesthetically, this colorway I don't really like all too much, but the overall silhouette, and also like I said, that Volt colorway that just came out looks freaking amazing. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, so this is the All Pro Nitro. It's kind of like the new version of the Clyde All Pro. You guys remember those from Puma? Amazing shoe. That shoe was freaking amazing. And also this shoe is freaking amazing, guys. Puma killed it. They hit it out of the ballpark with this shoe. This shoe performed absolutely amazing. I really have nothing bad to say about this shoe. I guess I guess besides the heel feeling a little bulky, but like I said, it's not really a huge deal at all. I really absolutely love playing the shoe, and this will definitely be in my rotation. It's an amazing performer. So if you're a guard, you're looking for a responsive shoe, this is an amazing option. Also, if you're a bigger dude, you should be fine. You know what I mean? Traction is amazing. Cushion, I would say, is adequate and has pretty good support. I guess besides, just watch out for the forefoot a little bit here. I feel like you should be okay, you know what I mean? But it's not gonna be like the most supportive shoe, you know what I mean? Compared to, I don't know, like the Zion 2s or something like that. But still, I feel like most people will enjoy this shoe, especially for 130 bucks. That's a pretty good price, you know what I mean? I guess also another thing that I didn't like is the material quality, especially this like synthetic or fake patent leather material, whatever it is. But anyways, that about concludes my review of the Puma All Pro Nitro. Again, if you guys do want to cop, I try to leave in the free link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.